Hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios once again. So, if you guys ever watched pro or top 500 players play, you might have noticed they're pretty good at the game. If you've seen IDDQD or Taimu playing McCree, you might have thought to yourself, well, I could never play at that level because I can't shoot people in the head nearly as good as these people can. But what if I were to tell you there was another way to get to Grandmaster and even to top 500 that didn't involve your mechanics at all? Well, I'm here today with Convertible, a Grandmaster Lucio main who claims that he got to Grandmaster exclusively through his shot calling skills and that he's not really all too special mechanically. He says that he chose to play Lucio because he can focus less on the mechanics of playing an easy hero and instead focus on leading his team in game. And not only does he lead Grandmaster teams in competitive play, but he also plays for a semi-professional team and leads them in game in scrims as well. If you guys want to see him in action, go ahead to twitch.tv/nobel, where he streams his own scrims and competitive play all the time. He's going to be streaming today, so make sure you check out the stream and see if he's live and give him a follow, because he seriously has some awesome tips for shot calling, some of which I'm going to tell you and some of which you're going to hear from him yourselves as we go into a map and put ourselves in a real game-like situation where we decide how exactly we would shot call based on our own team composition and the enemy team's composition as well. Now, you guys aren't always going to be able to make your team do what you want, but being able to open up communications and try and lead your team to a specific strategy or to at least target a specific character can be the difference between winning and losing a game, and the more you do it, the better your chances are of winning every game you play in competitive. Now, Convertible reached out to me on Discord, and you guys can join the Discord family as well. If you go down to the link below, we have an awesome server where all you guys can hang out, find people to play with, talk about the channel, the stream, and the game of Overwatch, and anything else you can care about. We actually have a pretty active community, which surprised me, and it would be super awesome to see you guys out there. Anyway, let's get started. Now you're hopping into a game and you're going to be the one that shot calls your team to victory. So the question is, how do you get them to listen to you? Well, I like to treat competitive games like a date. First, you've got to break the ice, so go ahead and open up your comp, say hi to people, and try and be positive. Maybe say something like, hey, this comp is looking great, I'm going to play this to fill it in, or potentially ask someone who hasn't picked yet if they can fill it in themselves. Generally, asking someone to switch isn't going to work at this point, but you can try and suggest a comp that your team can run with that you know how to lead well. But also, like a first date, make sure you don't come on too strong, since if you're a little bit too overbearing or you try to force people to be a little bit too responsive or a little bit too adaptive to your plan, then it can really rub them the wrong way and you can get yourself muted, or even worse, get people to troll right off the bat. Now, once you've got your team comp, you can try and come up with a strategy for your team, or if not many people are talking, at least try and give them one yourselves. If you've got a great dive comp with a Winston and Zarya or a Diva, you can maybe wait until you spot out a certain lonely Ana or Soldier and call them to jump on. Now, not everyone's going to focus your target all the time, but calling out targets is a great way to get people to at least subconsciously participate in your own game plan. Now, if you have a Reinhardt, make sure that you try and wait and take it slow and make sure people are playing around that shield, since one of the biggest issues with Reinhardt comps in competitive play is just people don't play with the shield enough. They go to the side, they go above, they go far past it, and they get themselves killed. So if you can do your best to get people to group up around you, then you will make some of your characters much more effective. Now, assuming you've got a decent team comp and strategy, your number one job as a shot caller is deciding when and when not to fight. It might be hard to get your team to go in or to disengage all the time, but if you can try and call out when to go in and when to back out, you can save your team much more often than you'd expect. Now, if you're going to call for a fight, you have to have a reason why you're fighting. You have to know that you're going to win the upcoming fight for any one of a number of reasons. If the enemy is outnumbered or they have someone flanking, but they're currently running through the aisles and you know you can fight 5v6, or if you know that you have more ults than your opponent, or if you know that you have no ults and your opponent has all of them, and so you want to fight them just to get their ults out of the way. Whatever your reason to fight is, just make sure that it's good, because if you call for a fight, that there's a chance that you could lose because you didn't know everything, you didn't know whose ult was up, you didn't know which of your teammates was where, then you could lose yourself a team fight before it even starts. Now, as a part of managing when and when not to fight, managing your own teammates' ultimates is one of your most important jobs as a shot caller. If one of your teammates has an ult that completely counters a dangerous enemy ult, then make sure that they know it and they know to hold it. If Genji's about to Dragon Blade you, then make sure Lucio knows when exactly he should use his sound barrier, and if the enemy Zarya has a Graviton Surge, then make sure D.Va is looking for it or Zenyatta's ready with his Transcendence. Just communicating that can make sure that your teammates don't waste their ult a little bit too early, especially if you've been tracking whose ultimate is up and who has their abilities ready to go. Next, I want to show you guys some specific in-game situations where you can shot call your team to victory with specific strategies and counters to your opponent's comps. So we're going to hop into King's Row right now, and Convertible is going to show you guys how to shot call your way to Grandmaster.
Okay, so you want to like get out of spawn and see what they give you. Usually teams will hold like right there. Some teams will hold like back here by telephone or like by arches. If you turn the corner and you see that they're giving you this statue area, you should probably take this ground, because now you have access to this health pack. They're not going to be coming from behind you. You have access to up there, and some of your teammates can possibly even get up to upper clock. So if you see that and you tell your teammates they're giving us this, we should go here, chances are they're probably going to listen to you. But then again, like if you're not running like a super meta comp, or if you're not running dev comp, you're running like Junkrat Widow, you're probably not going to tell your Junkrat to go that way. You should probably like tell him, oh, you should go here. You're like super effective right here.
Okay, and so say like you've got your dive comp. When do you initiate the dive? When do you tell the Winston, all right, go in now, we'll back you up?
You gotta like look for a cooldown. Like if you see an Ana like over there and she's like kind of alone, I guess you can call that. But if you see an Ana use her grenade, wait like a second, and then you speed boost your team, and you go for it.
Okay, what are some other big cooldowns that you usually wait for?
If you're running a Tracer, you wait for Helix. Sleep Dart's a good one. Winston Bubble's a good one. Zarya Bubbles are like super important cooldowns. Hog Hook is a major one. I see it in like pro play. Teams just go in after the Hog misses a hook.
Okay, what about D.Va Defense Matrix? Do you usually have a pretty good, guess of how much the enemy D.Va has?
I think it's like the Lucio's job to keep an eye on the Matrix, especially if you're running a soldier, because you can counter an entire character with just that ability. And if they have any counters, you should definitely point that out before you do the ult. So if the D.Va does have full Matrix, you should focus the D.Va first, like in the fight. If you like accomplish your goal in that fight, then you can clean up with Nano Visor, and they have nothing to stop you besides like support ults maybe.
Okay, and now say one member of the team is kind of back behind you up on the platform, on the high ground, and the rest of the team is on the point. Do you dedicate your team to taking out that person, or do you try to fight the 6v5? Like, how do you split up the responsibilities?
It depends on the priority of the person. If it's an Ana, I think it's worth going, but an Ana's probably not going back there. If it's a Tracer or being annoying, it's better to push up as a unit of 6, so that one player is ineffective while we fight a 6v5. And then for the time being, that one person is ineffective, so we can create a 5 or a 6v5 here, get a kill, and then create another 6v5 when the Tracer rejoins their team.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so now what about if you're defending here? Where do you generally pick to defend, and what are some heroes that'll affect like where you defend?
In scrims, we usually run a lot of like counter dive, and we have Soldier and Ana in upper clock, Winston hiding alley, Reinhardt down here, baiting their dive or baiting their triple tank or whatever they're running. Ryan is used here as a bait because I'm right here able to speed boost him. So we usually play high ground. Verticality is like super key on this map. So you really want to abuse that, because I can't tell you how many games I've lost in competitive queue due to not abusing the verticality that's offered. As soon as we cap 2 ticks, it's okay to let one person cap point while you get spawns that are coming out of Metro, as long as it's not the entire team. So if it's like a 5v3, you should definitely take that, because they're going to be spawning right here, and you can easily kill them. And then for the next fight, they're going to have to wait. So that's free cart time you have. But if you're defending, and you see that you cannot contest point, it's super effective if you tell your team to disengage, fight a 6, and then now you're able to hold arches, instead of having to hold on the second corner over there, if you had gotten picked off by 3. So that's a super important call.
Okay, and I've also seen most of the time my team gets stuck on the payload back past that second point. Like pushing around there seems really, really hard for the offense. Are there any tricks that you use to be able to win those fights and push it in?
Well, if we are on like Soldier or anything, we have Soldier and Anna go up here, and it's okay for this person to overburn. Like that's fine because defense has a huge advantage over here. Like they're gonna spawn here and then they're gonna like run up to you, but like you have to go all the way through. So it's okay to overburn here because this part is a lot easier than this little last like 2 meters right here.
Okay, and say you're not the Lucio, say you just don't play support and you're playing something else. Can pretty much any hero take up the role of Shotcaller if no one else is doing it?
It's easiest on Lucio because Lucio is one of the easier characters to play mechanically. But I mean, if a Tracer is 1v1ing a Soldier, she can't really worry about pre-planning or seeing what ults they have or keep track of everything. She has to hit her shots, which is why a lot of like Lucios are IGLs. And I see it on main tanks too sometimes. Like Reinhardt's and Winston's and stuff will call for their team and track ults because they're not as like 1v1 dependent, sort of, quote unquote. So if you're over here, this is where a lot of teams like to contest because it's like an artificial choke. You have to go this way. You absolutely have to go this way. And if you go this way, then you're susceptible to fire here, and they can just rotate over. But teams usually hold here, so they can drop back into their halls, or they can drop back into you and get the health pack. But if you see your team getting stuck here and you're playing like support or anything like that, it's like super effective if you go here and you don't even have to like land a boop or whatever. You can just create a distraction enough for your team to engage, or keep like a vertical eye on what cooldowns they have. Like abusing the other team's mistakes for like cooldowns is super key. Like if Anna misses Tracer in the backline over here, you can tell your team, okay, let's skip over these people right here and just dive straight to the backline and focus that Anna. Yeah, the team's gonna turn around and start fighting, but at that point they're down an Anna player.
Nice. Okay, that's a really cool spec because I honestly see people get stuck here more than anything. Well, it looks like that's going to be it from us for now for our first lesson of shot calling your way to Grandmaster. Make sure that you check out Convertible over on his stream, twitch.tv/Snowbell, where he streams his own Grandmaster and semi-pro shot calling all the time. If you guys love this video, make sure you leave it a like down below, because I would love to make more of these in the future, and if it does well, then I'll have all the more reason to get together with Convertible and show you guys how to shot call your way up to the top. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.